Today I am gonna add a few new bosses to the usual boring Minecraft, each with unique abilities. After comparing and ranking them all, the winner will be forced to fight an equal battle with Wizard. Together we'll see who can win. But first I will personally check their health, damage, armor, skill variety, agility and speed, as well as location where these bosses appear. Of course, I will not go into battle with bosses naked. I'll take an endless bow, a nether sword, better armor, and not significantly some sturdy tools too. I hope this is enough for me, although it's unlikely. So I set out in search of the first boss. In order to find it, I had to literally do some digging, because he lives, as it turned out, under a thick layer first. Finally, I found it at bedrock level. Here it is, a huge fat spiky flower. Honestly, it doesn't look so friendly. Also, it is clearly not hospitable. As soon as I got down, Spiky started coming out from under the floor and doing damage. It didn't hurt much, but it wasn't pleasant either. After a couple of seconds, it showed another of its attack spikes in a circle, and there are so many of them that they can easily hit 100 players. However, it is not so difficult to dodge them. I tried to beat it and felt the sharpness of the thorns on its stem at the funny sounds. In general, this is a bad idea. I almost lost all my health. Well, if it can kill me up close, it can't kill an arrow, so I'll introduce him to my bow a little closer. Having finished the first stage, this spiky genius decided to grow around smaller flowers. The trick is that each of them successfully heals about 1,000,000 hearts per nanosecond, so breaking them is must. Fortunately, they break down instantly, and there are no difficulties with it. I suspect it didn't like this idea very much and decided to puke. In fact, why not if you can easily infect a dozen of your opponents with poison with one speed? The next time, some of the current flowers were covered with a vine, which is meant to protect them. True, once the flower itself has disappeared, the fence disintegrates. Near the end, the boss decided to show off another of his weapons, namely pollen, which is not weakly so damage. As a result, combining its various attacks, it almost killed me at one point. Luckily, I was able to dodge, survive and heal. But don't worry, in the end I got my revenge on this guy and show who is the real boss of this GM. So it's time for the evaluation. On a 5-point system, I think it deserves the following results. In total, the boss is quite weak, easy to kill and does not require special game skills. To summon the next one, it is necessary to find this rare tower, which is generated only in the snowy biomes. Sometimes it can take hours of real time to find it. Once inside, it is important to climb to the second floor. At the same time, you can lose the chest, but I want to do this. Now I activate 4 altars using stars. Each of them lights up, the day changes to night and the lich appears. He flies and has a bunch of abilities at once, one of which is teleportation. A sword can reach him and a bow is extremely difficult to hit. Also, he keeps changing direction of his flight. I have a feeling it's gonna be a long battle. I think you've already noticed the first type of his attack. He charges his staff and then fires an explosion projectile that does no small amount of damage. Here he uses another ability, summoning phantoms. Moreover, there are no limits and they can be as many as million. Each of them considers it their sacred duty to piss me off by inflicting damage from behind and dodging shots. Another attack of the boss allows him to throw a few slowing little balls that take away some health. Okay, I've done enough damage and he didn't seem to like it. He must have decided to boost all 3 of his attacks at one time because of it. First the explosive projectiles flew in a heap, then the little balls. Neither was very pleasant. In any case, I overcame this challenge with ease, but then... In short, he did not hesitate to summon a large number of his marvelous helpers. Oh, how I suffered from them. Altogether, they sometimes bullied me too much and I had to run urgently to restore my health. In the end, however, I still defeated my enemy. Yes, it was hard to hit him and his assistants were annoying, but that didn't help him. Well, the boss is dead, which means it's time to give grades. In my opinion, this is a medium level enemy. To defeat him, need to know how to use a bow and have a good equipment. In order to find another one, need to build a portal and get into nether world. Here I found how destroyed structures that look something like a piglin bastion. This is where the battle will take place. The boss can be summoned by breaking this block with eye in the middle. The whole column collapses and the boss emerges from it. I'm gonna kick his ass. It doesn't really work, it seems as if it's invulnerable. In fact, it doesn't seem to give a damn about me. As it turned out, its only vulnerable part was the eye in middle. Any other areas of its body were completely useless to hit or shoot. It can fly and it loves to form a fist in order to hit me hard afterwards. It also smashes everything in its path. It can also shoot a laser from its eye, which does a huge amount of damage and can break blocks. Fortunately, it is possible to dodge and not die. Running away from the laser with low health is especially fun. One mistake and it wins. As time passed, the boss got angry and began to intensify his simple attacks. Before some of them, it would charge up, then hit harder and set everything on fire. Though, as the saying goes, quick feet don't fear the enemy. It is also worth noting that the nether gauntlet is able to blind its enemies. Although this is not fair, it has a huge eye itself and doesn't let others see. I had to suffer a lot to win, but in the end I put it on my hand. So what, it's a gauntlet. By the way, it's funny, but the boss showed me like at the end. In turn I am pleased with it too, so I'll give it next grade. In general, this is not an easy opponent. No obstacles will stop it, and it will be more than happy to take all my health in a couple of seconds. The last enemy for today can be found in the Enderworld. First need to defeat the dragon, go through the portal and find the structure. Basically, this building is nothing more than a medium-sized battle arena. In the center there is a block in which you need to insert an eye like this. As a result, a magical obsidian with a lot of different attacks emerges from under obsidian. The first demonstrated was fire magic, which damages throw into the air and sets fire. Next was ice magic, which works very similar to spikes of the giant flower, only it also slows player when hit. It also shows an air attack using teleportation. Apparently among other things, this obsidian thinks of itself as an anvil, but in any case the attacks are quite fast, powerful and also diverse, which makes it pretty strong opponent. In addition, if one gets too close to it, it will throw player high in the air, which can cause a lot of damage. But that's not all. If I take enough health from it, it will just take and become invulnerable, thanks that at least it can fly, doesn't have much health. Even without that it's a nightmare. In order to defeat it, need to destroy these magical blocks and they are as hardness as obsidian. The obsidian itself will willingly mock me, tossing and dealing damage while I'm standing here trying to do something. Several times I was very close to losing, all because it's very difficult to dodge its attacks while standing in one place. Nevertheless, the task is doable, and I still intend to show that my sword is stronger than its magic. And as they say, the man said, the man made, punish the sneaky enemy for using tricks. Even though this guy was bugging me quite a bit, I still fairly give it the following points. The boss is definitely not weak, but if you have a good enchanted pickaxe and a bucket of water, it will not be a serious opponent for you. Okay, well, now we have to choose a worthy opponent for this guy, so let's consider our choices together. A huge flower won't be able to reach Wither with the most of its attacks, so rule this out. The same goes for the magic obsidian. The Lich itself is a pretty weak opponent, and Wither will often miss his attacks against such a fast enemy. And the most powerful and suitable one is a gauntlet. The funny thing is that of all options, two bosses for the Netherworld will fight in the final. In general, I have prepared an arena like this. I made it not super big because they are both in the air and can easily fly into space during the battle. The bosses are sort of ready, which means I suggest we start this great duel then. Wither is the first to attack enemy. He is clearly trying to take a higher position to assault the enemy from above, but the first damage initiative goes to the gauntlet, and that's because it's extremely difficult for Wither to hit this eye. Here you can see that Wither can get stuck because of his combat tactics, which his opponent takes advantage very well. Finally, huddled in a secluded corner, the three-headed man hits and strikes his first blow, though I don't think he has much of a chance of winning anymore. With rare but powerful hits, the gauntlet knocked out more than half of Wither's health. Now he will try to stay as close to his opponent as possible. I doubt it will help. Moreover, his enemy uses a laser, which does an incredible amount of damage to him. One more charge and that's it. The fight is over. No chance at all. Our winner is Nether Gauntlet. I'll give it your congratulations, but for now, thanks for watching and remember guys, Selenium doesn't say farewell, Selenium says goodbye.